I've got this new top on. I'm not sure about it. I feel like it might look a bit like pajamas. But anyway, even particularly more with these pockets. I'm going to see how it goes. But it was one of my online purchases that we're doing, of course, during the stage 4 lockdowns in Melbourne. But, nevertheless, it fits my new colours as the blue wiggle. This week, we've been talking about food blocks or mind blocks around losing weight. And mind blocks are basically stories that are in your head, deeply embedded. And for some people, not even in their conscious mind, like really deep. So you may not even be aware of them. We talked about the obvious one on food wastage and that how people really struggle to throw food away. And for many of us, that's because we've been told all through our childhood, there are children starving in Africa. Eat everything on your plate. Be grateful for your food. There are children starving in Africa. We all know that, right? So it is really hard for us to throw food away because of that. One of the things, though, is understanding that some of these are really deep. You don't even know they're there. Now, I was talking to one of my beautiful patients yesterday, and she's had this thing her whole life where she gets almost to her goal weight and then it doesn't make it. And we talked about that for a long time. And then we realized that, again, throughout her childhood, people said to her, you never finish anything. You never finish what you've started. Why don't you just finish something? And so that became the story in her head, that she never finishes, that she's an unfinisher. Now, again, deeply buried in her subconscious, she wasn't even aware of this. And once we worked on that, and we spent a lot of time, don't worry, it wasn't just oh my God, you've just discovered this. There was a little bit of stuff to unpack. But seriously, this is going to be a game changer for her. And what she's doing is actually changing the story in her head. I finished what I've started. I can get to my goal. It becomes this big way of thinking and really just unlocking, I guess, that door that has been shut in her subconscious. Other ones that I find that women have, and again, not just women, men as well, that I guess impair their weight loss are things, again, that have been cemented in their brain from when they were little. Things like, you're so fat. Okay. People have said that. Imagine saying that to a child, but it happens. Other children often, you're so fat. That becomes their story. You're so fat. So if that's what they believe about themselves, then guess what? That's what's going to happen. So our brains are such complex creations. They are wonderful and beautiful, but sometimes mystical. And there's a lot that goes on there. So when people, I guess one of my things that I love helping people with, so the low carb message is spreading, hooray. People, again, are struggling sometimes to implement it. Now, sometimes those reasons can be things like they grew up, like I did, and like lots of women, with calorie counting. The idea of letting go of calorie counting is really hard. And they try and do it, but they don't trust themselves. So their ultimate mind block is about trust. Other people, it's about the fat, low fat. Bloody hell. What a dangerous message, and so deeply ingrained that it's really, really hard sometimes to go past that. I'm just looking over because I'm a tiny bit of a crazy cat lady, and the cats have just wandered into my room. But that low fat message is really hard to let go of. And when we are worried about some of these deeper messaging, calorie counting, fat, what it means is that we don't often trust. We may not trust ourselves, and we may not trust what we're doing. Add into that a bit of industry telling you that, low carb's dangerous, and they're putting out articles of all sorts of things of why you should eat heart healthy grains, and suddenly we don't trust. And we don't even realize that's what we're doing. We just think, oh, maybe this isn't right for me. That'll be what the story that comes through is. So my thing is, my lovely peeps, Low carb or keto or any of those are wonderful ways of eating. I'm going to put a caveat on that because, Dr. Mary and I are passionate about real food. Okay. No point. I don't think there's a lot of point doing low carb or keto if you're going to do all just processed products. That's not helpful. But the thing that a lot of women have, and I know blokes, but girls, I know that it's the majority of you watching, is not the knowledge, but it's implementing of that. So people, this is a typical girl that comes to me. She'll come in. I've been doing low carb, but I can't stick to it. Or I know what to do, I just can't do it. Or I've tried and I do it for a while and then I keep falling off the wagon. Okay. All of these it's all mind blocks. Okay. It's all reasons why your brain won't allow you to do what you know is right. And this takes a bit of work. It takes having support and encouragement. So don't think that you're a failure because you are having trouble implementing it. It's the stories that have gone on for many, many years and they take some time to change. Okay. And I'll give you a super practical version of this, and that is my story. My story about being a morning person. I have for so long said to everybody, I'm not a morning person, I'm always late. So guess what? I wasn't a morning person and I was always late. I'm changing that story. It doesn't just happen overnight though. It's something I still struggle with and I'm working on it. So today I was so happy because I got on at 8:01. Yay. The last couple of days it was 8:07, 8:08. That's, somewhat typical. But it wasn't 9 o'clock. So I'm moving towards my goal. And for that, I'm extremely happy and I'm extremely proud of myself. And I am telling myself that I am awesome. So my lovely peeps, if you're having trouble, okay, and I know that there are many of you who watch me and Mary every morning and you're in our inner circle. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. And I absolutely love our circle. I cannot tell you how much I love it. But if you are wanting more help, reach out. We're here to help you. This is what we do. This is our low carb jam. That's enough puns. All right, my sweets. My sweets. There you go. Interesting choice of word, Lucy. I'm going to think about that a bit more. Okay, my lovely ladies. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful weekend. And Mary will be up next week with Low Carb in the Leaves at 8 o'clock. Tune in. I feel like a radio host. Tune in and we'll see you there. Bye, sweets. Darlings.